And it was just hanging on a hair about how it would come out. And he stood there, and all the other wolves came to him. And he stood his ground. First the alpha female, then the beta female. And watching it, it was almost as if like they were testing what he would do. And he stood there, he looked at him, and he wagged his tail.
With a wolfish embrace, the deal is sealed. The Druid Peak Pack has its new alpha male. It's time for introductions all around, and everyone seems thoroughly delighted with the newcomer. With winter creeping into the Lamar Valley, Doug and his team keep a close eye on the pack.
Over there. And they had that calf kill right over here.
Right.
Maybe they're back hanging around there.
One question is now uppermost in their minds. Will the new Druids prove as efficient a hunting unit as the old Druids? Their survival as a pack will depend on it.
Wolves are classic sifters and sorters. Wolves take a look at a herd of elk, and they have a keen eye, and they are literally easing through those animals, looking for something awry. And they kind of go around like they're not doing anything, but they're watching every single animal in that herd. And once they see something not quite right, they're like a fighter pilot locking in on a target, and they know. You can see their whole disposition change. From an easy lope, they turn it up to a just full out, straight out gallop. I've seen situations where elk who have been targeted by wolves try and lose themselves in a group of comrades, and it doesn't work. The wolf has got its eye on that elk, and no matter what it does, they can't get away.
There will be dinner tonight for the new Druids, and for an enterprising scavenger or two. The wolves gorge themselves at the carcass. Each may consume 20 pounds of meat at a sitting. Afterwards, meat drunk, they stagger off to digest their meal from a vantage point where they can keep a lazy eye on their kill. A coyote senses that the new alpha male is a tolerant sort when well fed. But the rest of the Druids are notorious for killing coyotes, so he'd better have eyes in the back of his head. The alpha female, though full and bloodied from her meal, is not about to let a mere coyote filch from her carcass. But the coyote cannot turn down the opportunity for a free meal and decides to push his luck. The alpha female has had enough. The powerful wolf has a higher top speed than the coyote, and she's 3 times its size. A single slip might be fatal. With full stomachs, the druids finally relent. An eagle picks over the now uncontested carcass. But the bird won't be the last to pick over the kill. The biologists, too, have something to glean from the grim remains of the elk.
Scapula laying right here in the center.
What kind of impact are the wolves having on the other creatures of Yellowstone? A little forensic work at the scene provides some valuable clues.
One of the things we're trying to learn about is what kind of elk wolves are killing. Are wolves killing elk at random, or are they very, very selective? Pretty well cleaned up. Jawbone. Wolves are not just killing any animal they want. There are certain things that make an animal vulnerable to wolf predation. She's probably 15 plus years old at least.
Worn teeth give Doug a good idea of how old the elk was, but a glimpse into the bone marrow will prove even more telling.
Yeah, it should look like peanut butter, white, and
it's all red.
This elk was old, very old, probably 15 years or older, and the marrow on it is in very poor condition. So this animal was barely hanging on, and the wolves spotted that, and that's probably why they attacked her and were successful. Wolves are not random killers, but wolves are very selective killers. They have to find an animal that's got a problem before they can bring it down. If this elk was healthy, there's a good chance it wouldn't have been killed.
Except in high summer, snow can sweep into the Lamar Valley in an instant. For biologists suddenly working in near blizzard conditions, the weather is instructive in its own way.
We love it out here, and if you didn't love weather like this, you couldn't study wolves, because wintertime is the wolves' favorite time of year by far. This is what they're out in, and they act like that doesn't even bother them. And here's an animal that has to get kicked in the head every time they want to go eat, and they look like life is just grand. Oblivious to all this hardship, out there on their own, and really, I think the key to life is just don't think about it too much. Do the best you can, take your hard knocks, don't worry about the ones that are coming in the future. And maybe if that's a lesson for me, then I'll take it.
But philosophy can be cold comfort when winter comes in earnest. For the grazing animals, finding even a few mouthfuls of grass becomes a chore. And moving through the deep snow seems a Herculean task. The season does not tolerate weakness of any kind. An injured owl attracts hungry curiosity from all quarters. In the end, it is the coyote who delivers the final blow. Even the winter winter-loving wolf struggles in the first deep powder of the season. Bull elk have joined forces for protection, and this early in the season they're still well fed. Their elegant defensive formations and the deep powder foil the hungry wolves. Even in better conditions, only about 1 in 4 hunts is successful. And on this snowy day, the Druids will go hungry. The smallest canine in the park, the red fox, seems barely to have noticed the return of the wolf. He's intent on his own supper and prefers to hunt by aerial attack. Today's quarry, little rodents like mice and voles. As winter progresses, snow melts and refreezes, forming a hard crust. The park's great herds struggle to find grazing. Elk, weakened by hunger, sense they are vulnerable. Dozens of generations of living without wolves have not begun to ease their fear of the predator. But this ancient battle is never one-sided. The elk have lost none of their impressive defenses against wolves. Speed and sharp hooves even the odds, and desperation lends strength even to a starving elk.
Being a wolf is tough. I mean, they get kicked, they get walked on, they get broken ribs, and that's what they have to go through on a daily basis to get a meal.
Still, the resilient Druids seem to come out of each hunt unscathed and in high spirits. As always, the thunder of hooves gets their attention. It is an enormous herd of elk coming their way. But trouble follows on its heels. Out of the adjacent valley comes the much larger Rose Creek wolf pack. There is no love lost between the two clans. Now the Rose Creeks pass through the no-wolf zone that separates the two packs' territories, still intent on the elk. The Druids dare not confront the larger Rose Creek pack, but they've been quick to kill stragglers before. And a single young male has wandered a little too far onto their turf.
Wolves are fiercely territorial. For a trespassing wolf caught in the Druid pack territory, it's almost always fatal. They'll be killed if they're caught.
Belatedly, the intruder realizes his mistake and hightails it for home. Only when he's well out of their turf do the Druids relent. The pack now makes a show of remarking their boundaries. the alpha male, once a Rose Creek pup himself, leaves a chemical "do not trespass" sign for his kind. And the intruder, chastised, heads back to his own valley. Between hunts and border skirmishes, there's time to relax. The Cinderella of the pack senses it's safe to invite her alpha sister to play. Soon there's a general outbreak of high spirits. It's said that every dog has its day, but the Druids, like most wolf packs, have come to own the night. It is their favorite time to hunt. By the light of the full moon, the alpha female leads the attack. Their intended target, a winter-weakened elk cow, is not about to go down without a fight. But on this icy night, the odds are changing in the wolves' favor. The snow is crusted over, and the elk's thin legs crash through, slowing her down with every stride. The wolves' enormous webbed paws keep them on the surface, moving with deadly speed over the rough terrain.